everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're going to be carrying on with this picture from Hanna Karlzon's book. So we've got the bottom section of the picture to work on today, so I'll go ahead and zoom you in and we'll get started. So the first colour I'm going to go in with is 009, and I'm going to make a start on filling in these love hearts here. So this is quite a dark deep red, so I thought this would be great for our little love hearts. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill these in just with normal pressure. And then if we want to add a highlight to it, we can do that with the Posca pen after. Next I'm going to go in with 057, which is the lightest colour that we used for the top of the mushroom. And I'm going to do a base coat on these little like window panels here. So I thought we could make these look like the top so that it sort of matches. And I'll have to apologise guys if you can hear some like strange noises in the background. It's super windy here today in the UK. So everything's flying around outside and making lots of noise whilst I'm trying to film, which is always great. Oh well, it'll be summer soon. We won't have to worry about wind and rain. And I'm also going to do the window so that it matches. So I'm going to go ahead and do a light base coat on the wooden frame of the window. Next we're going to go in with our slightly darker colour, which was 056, and we're going to start to add some shade into this. So what I'm going to do for these sort of like wooden panels here, I'm going to go ahead and darken up this little section right on the edge, just to make that look a little bit darker than the rest. I'm going to go ahead and fill in this little section here, and then I'm going to go over the lines that she's put in and just darken them up a little bit. So we'll do the same for the bottom. And then we'll add a little bit of shade just slightly underneath the love heart. And I'm going to go ahead and darken up the bottom edges. So I'm just going to use a bit more pressure right down here at the bottom. And then just lift the pressure as you come up to blend this out. And we'll do the same for the top edge. And then just lift the pressure to bring this down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same for this side. So again, I'm going to darken up this little section here on the edge. And I'll go over the lines and just take them all the way to the bottom. I'll fill in between these two lines here completely. And then I'll just go over these ones. Again, I'm going to add a little bit of shade just underneath the love heart, and then we'll fill in the bottom sections and the top sections, and then just lift the pressure to blend this up. And we'll do the same for the top, just lift the pressure to blend this colour down. And I'm just going to darken up all the way along this outside edge. Okay, so that's them done. So next we're going to move on to the window frame. So again, I'm going to shade right under here because this would be in shadow from these little shutters. So I'll do the same for this one. So just normal pressure here and darken that up. And then I'm going to take normal pressure and drag it all the way along the bottom. And then here, I'm just going to lift the pressure and blend that colour out along the top. So we'll do the same for the top, although it won't have shade from the shutters if the light's coming from the top. So I think what I'm going to do is shade along this top edge here, where these like little semicircles would cast a bit of a shadow. So I'm just using normal pressure here. Okay, and then for these inside parts, I'm going to go ahead and go over the lines that she's put in for the middle one. And then I'm just going to darken up the very bottom edge and the very top edge. And just lift the pressure as you come towards the middle. And we'll do the same for these, so we'll just darken up either edge and then lift the pressure so we get the lighter colour in the middle. Next, taking 0.38, we're going to start to fill in the inside of this window. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill in all these little sections, just using normal pressure. Then we're going to go in with 0.37 and we're going to add some shade to this. So I'm going to shade similar to what I did on the top one. So we'll go ahead and darken up these top little sections completely. And then I'm going to add a shadow along here where the curtain would be casting a bit of a shadow. So I'm just using normal pressure for this as well. And then I'm going to shade along here and right underneath the window frame. And then this side we're going to go right underneath the window frame and down the inside edge and just sort of round that off. And we'll do the same for this one. Okay, so for these curtains, I'm going to make them like a yellowy colour. So I'm going to go in with a base coat of 0.90. So this is like a creamy yellow, so it's going to be quite light. And I'm just going to go ahead and fill these in, just so that we've got a base colour down. And then we can add some brighter yellows to it. So next, going in with 0.03, this is, again, it's like a more orangey kind of yellow tone. So we're going to use this to add our shade into the curtains. So I'm going to start with the curtain ties and I'm just going to darken up the outer edges. And then I'm going to do some shade underneath the curtain ties. So I'm just going to fill that in completely. And we'll do some shade from the windowsills or the window separators. And do the same up here. So I'm just using normal pressure here, just adding in this colour. So I'm going to go ahead and add some to the top. So I'll do like a line across the top, and then I'm just going to start to drag it down in random places just so that it's not a harsh line. And I'll do the same for this side. And then we'll add a little bit of shade along the edge and the bottom. Next, going back in with 009, I want to incorporate a bit more red into this window so that it matches where we've added the love hearts. So for this, I'm going to fill in these tiny little bits down here and up here with the red. So I'm just going to fill them in completely, just using normal pressure. Then going back in with 057, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the insides of these little semicircles. So again, I'm just going to use normal pressure and just fill these in. Then going back in with 056, we're going to go ahead and fill in these half semicircles here. So again, I'm just going to use normal pressure and just fill these in completely. Okay, so next we're going to move on to this little number 8, and I'm going to go ahead and use 009 again to fill in the number 8, so that again we've got some red continuing under here. And again, I'm going to use this colour to fill in the little dots around it. Then I'm going to go back in with 057 and do a light coat around this. And then going back in with 056, we're going to add some shadow to this. So I'm going to go ahead and shade along the bottom edge and up the side. We'll use this colour to fill in these little dots on here as well. And I think actually we'll just take this all the way around the outside edge. Just darken that up completely. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow around the number 8. And we'll fill in the inside bits a little bit darker as well, so it looks like it's shaded on the middle. Okay guys, so next we're going to go in with 112. So this is like a really light purple colour, and I'm going to start working on the actual base of the mushroom itself. So I'm going to go ahead with this really light purple colour and just do like a little bit of a base coat so that we can see how it looks, and hopefully we will like it all together. So I'll probably fast forward this bit for you because I'm just going to go ahead and do a base coat on all of this. Okay, so next going in with 099, this is a bit of a darker purple. We're going to start to add some shade to this. So the first thing I'm going to do is add some shade under here where this would be casting a shadow. So I'm just going to go ahead and just sort of darken this up. And again, I'm only using light pressure for this. So all in between here where we've got these sort of dangly bits would cast a bit of a shadow down. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a shadow in here. And I'm just using light pressure because if I want it to be darker, I can always go back in and add a bit more pressure after. So I'm sort of bringing it all the way down to where the little balls end. And then we'll go ahead and darken up this side here. Sort of bring this out. We'll add some underneath the window. Under this leaf. So this bit down here I'm going to darken up, so I'm going to put some more pressure on just to get it really dark because this is all going to be further down, so it would be a bit darker. So I'll do the same here and then just lift the pressure as you come away just to blend that out a bit easier. I'm going to go ahead and darken up this bit here too. Okay, so I'm going to go back in with 112 and I'm going to start to blend this together and hopefully it will look all right. So we'll try it in this little section first. So I'm going to go in with more pressure now with the lighter colour. So I'm just going to use normal pressure and just go right up into the darker colour and see how this all works together. Okay, it looks like it's blending pretty well, so we'll carry on. So I'll do the same here, so just sort of go over the darker colour to help it blend together a little bit easier. So I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to carry on filling this in. Okay, so I'm going to swap back to 099, which is my shadow colour, and I'm going to add a bit more shadow. So I'm going to do some more here in between these little bricks. So I'm just going to darken this up and then just lift the pressure as you come away. Just because they dip in there, so I wanted that to look a little bit darker. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of shade here. just going to go ahead and darken this up along here. Okay, that's looking better. You can definitely see the shadow now. So I'm going to go back in with 112 and I'm going to fill this little bit in here. I'm going to go back in with 099, which is our darker colour, and I'm going to darken up here underneath this windowsill. This bit here I'm going to fill in completely because it would be darker on both the top and the bottom, so I'm just going to fill this in. And then I'm just lifting the pressure to blend that out. Do the same over here. And I think we'll go ahead and shade under these. And under here would be a bit darker. Okay, so now I can go ahead and fill these bits in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm using 112 and just normal pressure. So I'm going to go around these little bits here. Okay, and I'm going to go back in with 099 and I'm going to start to add some shade to this side. So what I want to do for this side is I want to make this bit here darker. So like this is casting a bit of a shadow. So I'm just going to use normal pressure for that and then just lift the pressure to blend this out. Again in here I'm going to add some darker pressure, more harder pressure, so we get a darker colour. So we've got a bit of shadow there, and inside here I think would be all dark. So I'll go ahead and fill that in. This one here would have some shadow. And now I'm just going to lift the pressure and just blend that out. I'm also going to darken up this bit as well because we want this to be a bit darker. So I'm just going to use normal pressure here and darken up this and all along this edge here. And now going back in with 112, I'm just going to fill this bit in completely. Okay guys, so this is the last bit, so I'm going to go ahead and darken up these bits as well. So I'm using 099. And I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow here where these flowers are. So I'm just using normal pressure here. And then I'm going to lift the pressure to blend this out. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in with 112 and just use normal pressure and fill this all in completely. So I'm going to go back in with 099 and just darken up some of these sections down here that are going to be a bit darker. So this bit here I'm going to fill in completely. And this section here. And then under here I'll add some shadow. Go ahead and add some shadow under this leaf because this would be a little bit darker. A little bit here, which is underneath there and behind all of that, so I'm going to fill all of this bit in dark as well. Under here would be a bit darker. And we'll add a little bit of shade under this mushroom here. Just lift the pressure to blend that out. And I think we'll darken up this edge as well. Then I'm going to go back in with 112 and just fill in these little gaps. Next, going in with 082, we're going to go ahead and fill in these little sort of almost leafy looking things on top, and I'm just going to fill this bottom two in completely. And then for these top ones, I'm going to do to about there. And then going in with 045, which is a much more greener colour, I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the bottom half of these. So again, I'm just using normal pressure and just taking it up over the last colour so it blends together. Okay guys, so that's how it's looking so far. So I think I'm going to leave this video here. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.